Greetings guys, this is Blade Stretch. Hope you guys are all doing wonderful. Today we're going to do a little Talwar video. We have done a Talwar video before, but I believe this is a better Talwar fit. The previous one was like an armor, like brawly kind of thing. This is brawly too, but we're rocking a medium shield extender, small anti-armor ripper, and 2 T1 hull rigs. So we've got a lot of buffer tank here, a lot of DPS too, because we've got the ballistic control and the Tech 2 damage rig. So we've actually got a lot of DPS here, and you might be kind of worried that without the web that we're not going to apply with our missiles, but you actually apply quite well, even without, you know, if like faction, you are going to be using faction missiles against frigates and assault frigates, but your rage missiles you're going to be using against destroyers, and you apply quite well with them. Enough as to where you're going to win these anyway. So yeah, triple tank seems to be all the range these days. It does a wonderful job. It fares quite well against every destroyer. Coercers can give it a really hard run for its money. Algos is, you know, you're always going to have a hard time against like any destroyer, but if you play it well, you should be able to eke out a win. Just Coercers are going to be the hardest one for you. We are running 2 3% damage implants, and those 2 Pyrolants in a standard XL. Now, the footage throughout all this video is quite old. I think it was through like a month or like something like that. So the implants were kinda, I was rocking 2 3% buffer rigs at one point. I was also using improved exile in a few of these fights, so just keep that in mind. But most of these fights, you know, I'll be rocking 2 3% damage implants in the pyro and standard exile. So yeah, as for assault frigates, wolves I'd go for, Ishkars, I'd probably give Inuos a bash. If they're maybe MWD, you can maybe range control them, because the thing is, Talwars are actually quite fast. If you're going against like an MWD, you know, like assault frigate, you probably actually range control it. Of course, if it's AB web, you're probably in a bit of a bad spot. But wolves, Ishkars are definitely a safe bet. I wouldn't go for hawks, vengeances, or jags, because they just tank so much, man. You're going to have a real hard time against those. You can give it a bash, man, but just expect a hard fight from those. All destroyers are A-okay, T1 frigates are fine. Pirate frigates might give you, like, a succubus is always going to be a hard one to fight, just because they're, like, engageability, but, like, Dramiels, DDs can give a bash. If it's a real one, it's going to be a bit rough for you. But if you switch to Javelin, you might be able to how to, and you'll force it off, or potentially win. So that's kind of, you can fight quite a lot of stuff, and it's actually quite consistent, this fit. So I'm going to stop, like, mumbling and stuff, and let's get on to the fights, boys. Okay, the first couple of fights here, we've got fights against, like, frigates, a couple of them. I was really worried against going up against this Dramiel. Dramiels are not being incredibly fast. I was curious to see how well we'd apply without a web. Thankfully, this Dramiel's MWD fits. So once we turn that MWD off, he's not going to be able to, you know, make much damage for his speed. And these dudes are both dual reps, so you see that we're just tanking through his reps there. Nuking for his reps, sorry, he's going down. He's having a hard time. I'm curious to see how well this Incursus tank. Incursus are known for being incredibly tanky. And yeah, I'm very pleased I get this Dramiel. I've got my small Ansi on the go here. I've still got plenty of tank. We've got a lot of buffer in our hull, and the small Ansi also sort of keeps us upright. So I want to try and orbit this guy at 7.5k. If I'm able to do so, I'm slowly pulling range off him, which is nice. Again, the speed on the Talwar is pretty sweet, but I feel like I'm going to kill him even before I get if he's like range here. He's again MWD, Scram, dual rep. And dual rep Incursuses are known for tanking quite a lot here, but we do eventually end up nuking through his reps also. Just a volley off our pure explosive damage is rough for him. So it's against another frigate gang, and they don't play very well here. This is like, you know, the perfect situation for a destroyer. These guys all come in piecemeal. This Incursus comes in. I catch him, he's going down, man. He seemed to be some form of weird kitey fit or whatever. He goes down. The Tristan comes in. I'm like, alright, sweet! So I just want to ram him, get scram on him before he pulls range, just in case he's like a kitey fit. He ends up being a newt Tristan, which isn't too much of a concern. You notice I've taken like no damage at this point. These dudes really wanted to come all in at the once and fight me, as opposed to piecemeal like this and just die. It's not a good time for them, man. So yeah, the Tristan dies. I'm like, alright, sweet. Like, our tank's barely been touched at this point, and the Rifter comes in. I guess they're saying, oh, he's, I don't know, half shields or something. He's nearly dead. And brave little Rifter. I'm getting Scram and basically apply our missiles here. He's got long point. It seems to be some weird form of long point, like brawly fit. And yeah, I guess he just wasn't expecting the DPS or expecting us to be lower than what we were. And he ends up going down. So that's a good little show that we can apply very well to frigates. Okay, Catalyst can be quite a mean one for a Talwar, especially if it has some form of range control on you. They don't often do, because Catalyst is usually like AB Scram or MWD Scram. I believe we're faster in Catalyst. So this guy's smart and has null preload. He's MWD, so he's probably expecting me to pull range from him. I want to keep myself at 8k here, hoping to get his Void and Antimatter range. But since he has null preloaded, I'm starting to struggle here, so I turn my orbit to 10k here, just getting his furthest fall off possible. Overheat my scram here to try and prevent him from MWDing back towards or escaping. So, yeah, that was a really close fight. GF to Catalyst Pilot. It's pretty rough, man. You don't want to stay in, like, the range of blasters for very long. So this is against a Dragoon. Dragoons are very mean, and especially against this fit. Because you'll notice that, just because we have the shield buffer, if we're facing newts, we're usually neuted out before our shield buffer's gone. We can't use our small anti. So, basically in this fight, our small anti is useless. I'm trying to mitigate some damage in some form. It's hard to do so, especially since Tyron here is using missiles. I could have maybe like orbited the 10k and overheated their scram, but that's a bit much. So yeah, I'm just trying to like nuke them down just because they're insane DPS and we still have a lot of buffer. We still actually kill this Dragoon, so GF there, my man. Okay, here we have a fight against some Quaesors, and always expect a rough one from Quaesor, man. Something to note though, most Quaesors to be competitive require web and no form of like scram or lump point. So you could potentially like a line out here, but I'm hoping to try and make some damage from this Quaesor. But since he's AB web, he's able to keep range here and just apply fully. Although it's close, you'll see we go down here just because the pure DPS Quaesor is a monster. GF there, Mr. Onage. We do get a very similar fight here against this Quaesor. He's MWD web though. He doesn't have the AB to range control. But you'll still see how close it is. And just like brace yourself when fighting a Quaesor, especially in this fit. Just because they nuke through our shield buffer. And try and get a small anti on as quickly as possible, right? Expecting those hard volleys. We want to get all our reps off here. But you'll just see there's one volley difference in it. So just know that it's going to be hard. But this last Quaesor is a shield Quaesor. I'm seeing becoming more common. Again, with all these Quaesor fights, I want to orbit 500, try and mitigate damage in some way. Destroyers do have a huge sig, but just because of our speed, we can mitigate some damage. You see that he gets occasional grazing hit here, and that is perfect, man. Had he just been getting like constant hit with like a beam shield Quaesor like this, we'd lose, right? If we like kept him at range or he was able to apply, we'd lose this. So we just want to try and orbit close, reduce that incoming damage. That's really what you want to do. Reduce incoming damage here, and you come down with our rage missiles. Still pretty gnarly. It does get almost their hull buffer, but nevertheless, GF. Okay, this fight's against an autocannon wolf, and I always recommend taking a fight against a wolf. Had this guy been AB scram, it would have been a bit rougher, but since he's MWD, most wolves you'll see, even autocannon wolves will be MWD fit. We can range control this guy, so I'm going to keep my orbit at 8k here, try and get these far fall off. We're still taking hits here, but if I need to, I could pull the orb out to like 9.5 or 10, but I'd risk losing them. And since we're tanking completely fine here, I'm chilling, man. Our missiles are applying completely fine. We're hitting into his like lowest resist. Potentially, he'll either be kinetic or explosive if you want to be shooting at a wolf. We have a perfect damage for that. We're not into armor tank here. I am chilling like a villain, and we do end up taking this against this wolf. So GF to this wolf pilot. Okay, so this is a fight against a Kiki. I was really banking on him being like the rare armor Kiki here, but unfortunately he's the shield Kiki, which is very common. So it's unfortunate. Nova, like explosive missiles, aren't really the right call to be shooting against a shield ship. Had you had Mjolnir missiles or Inferno, even though they aren't bonus, we would have potentially probably had, well, maybe had this fight. Kikis are incredibly hard to kill, even like Katie ones, man. Just the amount of DPS you're doing is pretty gnarly. And you still have a nice little bit like 8k buffer. So yeah, once he gets through our shield buffer, he's built up at this point. He's just ripping through our small anti-reps. And we are probably going to go down at this point, but it was worth a bash. The next couple of fights, though, are against Algoses. And I always expect a hard fight from an Algos. This dude's AB web, scram, and rails. As soon as I see the notification as to saying that he's rails, I'm like, okay, I want to try and get under the gun somewhat, you know, like orbit 500. Unfortunately, we're unable to do so. Just him being AB web, scram, right? He's got range control in this fight. So we're going to take the full grunt of his rails. Maybe like, I highly doubt like double clicking to the sides, and that would make any damage just because the destroyer sig's so huge. But Yeah, we're playing complete thing here. I've got my small anti on the go. I'm fairly confident I've got it at this point. But he starts to bleed into our hull here, and I'm like, get a bit spooked, a bit anxious at this point, but we do end up taking it. So GF the Algos pilot. This next Algos is a dual rep hull Algos that we've recently done a guide on. So I'm curious to see how well this matchup would be. I believe I set a default orbit to 7.5k. Okay, that's interesting. But basically the win condition against Algos is this. You want to try and keep out the range or whatever of their guns and just deal with the drone DPS, right? Since I see that it's 200 autos here, I keep my default orbit to 8k. Just trying to keep in the farthest fall off possible of those guns without risking like myself losing him or dropping scram. We're applying completely fine. Even with ranged missiles, we're hitting out to 13, about 12, 13k, which is perfect, man. Faction missiles are going to be hitting out to 15, Javelin's going to be hitting out to 22, 23. Beautiful range. It's a close fight, but we do end up taking it. So GF to both those Algos pilots. Okay, here's the fight against an Arty Thrasher, and this is why I love the Talwar and the Corax. So with Javelin missiles, you still have a chance of like fending off like Kiters and stuff. Like say if you're in like an autocannon AB Thrasher and you're up against something like this, you'd just be dead. But thankfully, just cause we're in a brawler that can like deal with Kiters, that's why I love bit of Talwar, but don't be too complacent because a good kiter can still really do bad things to you, especially frigate kiters, really fast ones. But destroyers is not too much of a problem. So I see this guy's what do we call it? Arty, we got Javelin loaded, and we're still doing a lot of DPS here. He's something the Thrasher pilot can maybe done was keep us at like 22 and make us chase him. Keep over Javelin range or stuff, but it's a bit hard for a destroyer to do this. Is a bit easier for a frigate, especially if it's orbiting at like 20 or 22, just because your missiles are chasing after it can be a real rough time for you. So I hate myself. I believe I got to scram this Corbin, but he ends up being rails. It's just another little like show that you can just reload Javelin, like sort of fend off these kiting destroyers. He takes a lot of damage too, just because I'll line out somewhere and let him chase me and let my missiles fly into him. But he sees he's taking a lot of damage and he ends up dipping. So yeah, it's nice being able to fend off these kind of guys. Okay, this is a really cool little fight. First and foremost is against an Algos here using newts, but since we're orbiting 7.5k, we should be keeping out of range of those unless you're T2 newts, in which case I should really be pulling my orbit out to 8k, but be keeping mostly out of range of those. He's getting through our shield buffer, which is quite rough, but he seems to be a full buffer, Algos. We do end up taking him. Thankfully, I have a lot of tank left, and I see the two friendly comets on the outside here, and I'm wondering whether I, warp off, get wrapped up, or I stay here and fight them. So like, alright, let's fight them, but I want them to chase after me, and try and get some hits on them before they're in range and get DPS on me. You'll see that I start a bit early, but basically, I should really wait until they're at 20, and then start shooting them, allowing my missiles to fly into them and get damage on them before they're in damage range. One of these dudes is rails and one of them is blasters. Thankfully, they weren't both rails, or this would have been a bit more rough as they were coming in to me. But this first comet's pretty close to me. I get the scram. He must have been MWD, or that was a rail one, I believe. And then I want to try and pull range from this blaster one and make it damage in some form, but unfortunately I can't because I believe he's AB web. And it's really hard for me to make any form of damage. I try and start a tight orbit, but I just can't make enough damage, and I don't have enough heat as we can just nuke through him. So that's a good little fight against those guys, and yeah, GF. Okay, this wasn't really a video or a fight I was going to use, but I thought why not, 'cause it's a bit interesting. So I see the wolf and Wretched, they catch me on the outside here, and I'm like, oh, I'm dead. But I get a scram on the wolf. It ends up being an Arty wolf. I'm like, alright, cool, we can potentially kill this wolf before we go down. The Wretched's not activating his MWD, and he's just chilling there. I believe these pilots might be inexperienced, or at least one of them was. So I want to try and make it damage some form in that wolf. Try and nuke him. If I can get the wolf and like be S positive here, I am pretty sound. Then I want to try and orbit the Retry, but I make some really weird, interesting decision making here. So I see that I'm not taking any damage at this range, and I'm like, wait, so he can't be pulses, and no beams. He must be pulses. And then I'm like, wait, okay, so I can't orbit my 500. So what I need to do is just run. And I don't know. I was just trying to escape at this point. So this is a bit all over the place. Had I orbited my 500, I would have probably killed this Retry. But I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking I was going to be able to escape because he wasn't activating his MWD. He starts activating his MWD, and he gets closer, and I'm starting to freak out at this point, I just want to escape. There was ways I could have killed this Retry. This fight shouldn't have been like this. These two AF should have really killed me. And I should have orbited that Retry. So a bit of weird decision making. His Cat Passer just like disappears and I warp off. So it's a bit of an interesting fight there. I guess it's more to show that I can take fights that you might have not otherwise been able to beat, but you can sometimes take them. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, previous fights have lessened and been more perceptive in our damage notification rate. I should really like clocked onto that guy being beams and orbited him. But this isn't so much of a fun fight or anything, it's just that weakness of the Talwar. And you don't really want to go after kiters. I believe this gentleman is snaked, but this can be mimicked by like, even unsnaked, like a hook bill like this, orbiting at like 20, 21 or whatever. Your missiles won't keep up and you won't apply any damage. It's the same with like, say, like slicers if they're on point, just like other things. So you generally want to try and avoid kiters, right? It's not really something you want to go after. You're more after like brawlers. Now, basically just like javelins, just basically to force off kiters, right? If you get like pointed when you don't want, like on a plex or something. So yeah, just try and avoid kiters. They're bad. Yeah, I keep on trying to change the lines here, just to maybe like mess with his orbit, try and warp off or get some hits with javelin, but it doesn't work for me. That's our video done, boys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe inspired you to fly some Talwars or something. I'm really surprised how well this Talwar did. I feel like it done a lot better than the previous armor Talwar, and I do prefer this Talwar to that Talwar. Yeah, who knew that Talwar was like pretty competitive, man? You know, it's not really known for its like solo capabilities and it's like brawling, right? You mostly see them like light missiles and like fleets and stuff. So it's wonderful how well this fit actually performs. But yeah, again, hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any recommendations, like AF-wise, frigate-wise, destroyer-wise, that I can do a guide on, please, like, comment or message me in-game or something, because I'm lacking inspiration at the moment as to what to fly and do my next guide on. I'm doing a lot of, like, guides and, like, I'm trying to work on some guides for, like, null cruisers and stuff, since the filaments have been so fun recently. But, like, for a guide for Lowsec, right, like an AF destroyer or something like that, please just hit me up. For any fit ideas and stuff. So yes, I'm going to stop mumbling. Do hope you guys enjoyed. Do stay safe in this very confusing time that we're in, boys. And yeah, do take care, guys.